So a lot of the resources that we're consuming, that we eat, that we live by, all had to do with the fact that the nations were yes, they were successful on their own, but they advanced
when they allowed
because there was mixing with other nations. Because you have information that I don't have. I have information that you don't have. You want to know what made the United States want to go to the moon? Because Russia was going to the moon. And you want to know after that, they hired a Russian to work in the United States. Oh, because this person, he has not.
Right. No, that's
so
right.
I'm just saying, isolation is fine, but advancement happens when also advance.
Hold on, I want to hear what Walter's got to say. Hold on, I'm going to hear what Walter got to say. What you got to say?
Now, because mentioning isolation, and we're not even, that's deviating from the point where we're trying to. Now, here's the point what I'm getting at. When we talk about group economics, black people practice it more in the Jim Crow era, before integration. Now, let me ask you a question. Let a black man try to open up a business in a white area.
Or get shut down. Or get shut down immediately.
You know what I mean? But they can open up businesses where we at. But the point where we speaking from a socio-economic place. Nobody's not talking about integration. You're supposed to be able to work. The Chinese, the Jewish people, they work with different people. But the thing about it is, from a microorganism, they work. They built a foundation for themselves. And that's the point where the Nation of Islam was kind of mad to be like, okay, we're going to put this together. As soon as we had integration, a lot of things that we already started had been was just being took away.
Oh, okay.
Name any black high schools.
We name them, but
no,
they're not
you name them. But I'm just saying. You feel what I'm trying to say?
That's true, but you could name any
like we have black banks, but not to the point where a lot of these other different races have.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? This is the only thing that the Nation of Islam was talking about. They're not talking about not excluding themselves from the world market. They just want to be able to do for self. And when they're saying do for self, being able to own their own schools, own their own banks, because the Jewish, the Hispanics, everybody do it. Why can't we do it for ourselves? And we don't mind working with different people. Yeah, I'll buy a chair from a white boy. I'll go get some piñas from Young. But as far as we want to be able to build our own socio-economic place. You know what I'm trying to say? That's Black Wall Street flourished so much. Black doctors, black bankers.
That was saying it did supposedly. Now that
let me tell you something. And listen, in the United States, how many Chinatowns they got?
Oh,
they got one in Boston. They got one in New York. They got one in California,
and Las Vegas.
And we're talking about that's group economics.
That's what he talking. That's
the only thing. I'm not talking about exclusion.
Yeah, of course.
We're not talking about that. But the point where the Nation of Islam was mad, and this is what they were trying to say. They never said they wanted to deviate from the United States. They never even talk about that. The only reason why they say that because people misconstrued a lot of their teachings. They just asking for the United States. Let us do for self. Let us have our own schools. Don't tell us what to do. Give us a patch of land so we can grow food and take care of ourselves, and we can still do business with you on an equal playing field.
And so what did Martin Luther King do wrong?
Martin Luther King do wrong was having people deviate. Now, mind you, I can't say it verbatim, word for word. There's other people who can explain this better than I can. But from what I take from a lot of people who support black nationalism, you know what I mean? Where, as far as asking for people to do for self, take care of your own community, build your own community, and stop asking for people for stuff, because people are not going to give you anything.
Yeah, you got to go out there and get it.
You got to go out there and get it, and this is the same thing that the Chinese and the Hispanics, and they create their own banks. Listen, when projects go in Chinatown, they don't go to the United States. They go to the banks and lenders who are Chinese in their own community.
But we blacks, we don't have our own bank, so we got to go to the Chinese bank.
We got to go everywhere else.
It's just a question of thought. I'm not saying we right or wrong about this at all. I'm just curious because that's what people were saying.
This is why race is so issue about it. When it comes to niggas, it's always an issue.
It is.
It's always an issue. But when you start mentioning other people, and mind you, this is not only here. I talk about this all the time with a lot of other people. Whenever you try to say let a nigga do for self, it's an issue about it because they're not used to seeing that. They're not used to understanding that whole terminology.
Okay.
And I used to think the same way before I went to the nation. And I started to see what they were talking about. There were some things I just wasn't agreeing with the spaceships and stuff like that. But as far as black nationalism, I'm not going to be unapologetic about that. I support that 100%. Because you want to know why? I grew up in a neighborhood where Mike's store was owned by an Indian. Across the street was owned by the Dominicans give us food.
Yeah, fact.
The Chinese, the Arabs in the Liberty City own every single corner store on the block.
To this day. And they
to this day.
Still do.
We don't own nothing. And mind you, they got their own schools. They got their own mosques. They got their own worship places where they go support. They able to go get loans. That's all they talking about. Like, let us do for self. Let us allow us to create our own economics. That's the only thing they're talking about. But when it's time for niggas to do something, they have issues with that. And
that's why now people give Tyler Perry more praise because he finally did it for himself. He owned a black-owned studio.
Black-owned studio. Now, here's the difference about that. He gave a lot of black people work. He still got white boys work for him. He still got different people work for him, but he's a black man. You know what I'm trying to say? And but from a grandioso sense, they want what the Nation of Islam home premises. They just want to be able to do for self. They don't mind working with people. They don't mind working with the Chinese man, working with the white man. They just don't want people telling them what to do, how to do what they stuff, because they don't say that to the Chinese or anybody else.
Man. No, Steve, you was gonna say something. What happened?
No, I forgot what I was gonna say. But at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. Like, what I was going to say is with those groups is that there's never any point in time where they were enslaved. They didn't get. The reason. My point is that they were. My point is, when you think about the Italians, you think about Chinatown, you think about that. That's a certain set, and that's certain people making that decision. Hey, we're gonna come together. Because when the Italians came here as immigrants, they was here by themselves.
But they wasn't slaves, though. They didn't go through what we go through.
I mean, they dealt with.
They dealt with their own volition,
which made them come over here.
They dealt with their own volition, and they was able to come here and make. There's so many Italian places,
neighborhood, but it's not enough.
Well, that conversation also has to be had with the people within the community.
Which is true. That's why we having this conversation.
You can't keep passing the buck, nigga. That's people in your own community.
It's not.
Some of them, they don't care.
Let me take
some of them, because at the end of the day, because I understand what you're saying. But guess what?
You ever heard of redlining?
There's a lot of people who are going to go their own way.
What's redlining?
They're going to want to do
redlining is where they draw a line in their neighborhood where they stop the funding. How many times they used to say Jackson was an F school?
Many a times.
How much money did they invest in Jackson?
Millions of dollars.
So you're telling me there's no black millionaires that exist?
I didn't say
no.
Because the issue comes down to class.
There's not enough black millionaires.
There's not enough black millionaires.
I hear that.
That's true.
But at the end of the day, guess what it's going to come down to?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's why we need more. That we need black money. We need black owners. That's true.
But I don't believe that there's a lot of broke black people.
It's hard. It's hard. You gotta
see
because
it's hard.
Okay. So then that means you believe that there are no black billionaires, there are no black trillionaires.
There's only a couple, but how many you can name? We can only name 3.
Yo, bro, let me tell you something.
I can only name 3.
Statistically, the same black billionaires is still the same number 10 years now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna put nothing out there because there's about 7 billion people that live on this planet.
I agree. I agree.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not doing that.
Listen, you're talking about 7 billion people.
Because
let's just talk about strictly U.S. Let's not bring them other than
U.S. I'm talking about U.S.
I was talking about U.S.
Yeah, and within the U.S.
Let's talk about
and you want to know why I
US.
said that, Ronnie? Because there's a lot of people they don't go by their government name.
Which is true.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who live in this country. They go by another alias. There's a lot of people.
We can't have them in the book.
Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about strictly facts and statistics.
So when you do statistics, then you have to actually call you and then historically, then you have to actually go and then historically. Because I don't know. I'm not gonna.
I told her I don't know.
I'm not gonna speak for a bunch of people I never spoke to. That's why I'm not gonna plant my ground there, because I don't know. I know based on history what you're saying that stuff has happened, but beyond that I do not know.
But that history, but remember that history pain is still in the community to this day.
It's just like history pain for everybody that exists in this
always an issue.
It is an issue. I would say it's an issue in our community.
Just like how there's history pain.
People on the left and some people on the right.
But we gotta come together someday. That's the only way it's
You're only gonna come together under Jesus' name. That's it.
That's one aspect. I'm talking about from a social.
You don't have to.
Listen, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about social economics. Let's talk about opportunity.
Ronnie, look, I'm talking from a man's standpoint.
Correct.
We're broken.
We're broken. We are broken. We are broken.
So it's hard for us to unite. That's all I'm saying.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
You're talking about something. You're talking about something that's like world peace. How are we gonna accomplish that?
No, you can't do that.
We're not even talking about. Let's talk about socio-economics.
Unity, but he's talking about unity, right?
I'm not talking about socio-economics. I'm talking about economics.
And bringing a fractured people together is not something that.
Who fractured us? Who fractured us?
Look, Ronnie.
Society, man. I'm not gonna say that. I know the white man, but I ain't gonna say it. But I'm not talking about race.
I don't care about that. At the end of the day,
we're broken.
That's all I'm saying.
We are broken.
And for us to psych ourselves out to think that we could do it ourselves, we out of our rabbit ass minds. Because if that was the case, we would have did that 100 years ago.
No, but remember, we don't know who we are. And I know, remember, you're my neighbor. I don't know who you are. I don't know who I am.
But that's my point. At the end of the day, there's some things you can have the ambition for. You could scream at people that want to do it.
Yeah, you can't force it.
A man is his own man.
Facts. That's real. No, that's real. A man is his own man. But he's telling you, a man is his own man.
He told me some stuff.
This is why it's hard for niggas to get together and do shit.
Yeah, and it's never good.
No, and I'm just speaking from the point of. I'm just.
See, remember, some people came in agreement. They know it's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
It's going to be a strong
opinions. We can agree on certain things, but we can't agree on a lot of things. And that's the issue.
I'm talking about. When I say it's never going to happen, I'm talking about just humans being flawed. That's why I don't believe it's going to happen. You're going to have certain groups that's going to get together.
Exactly.
That whatever you're talking about, they're going to actually do. And they're going to go forward, and they're going to forward their part of the community in the country.
I agree. That's
going to be people over there. They're going to do that. This is why you have coalitions and stuff like that. Because everybody goes in
because they all came together.
But it's not going to be everybody that's going to come in. No, I don't. Yeah. I'm under a theocracy. That's what I know, man. Like
just think about it and just look at it from a point of view. Just look at it. Try to go to a bank tomorrow and go get a loan.
Oh, it's like hell to go get a loan.
But if you was in a neighborhood that was owned by black people, had black banks, what you think might happen?
It'd be easier to get in and go get a loan.
That's socio-economics. That's economics.
Correct. But we don't have that.
Listen, the premise that the Nation of Islam, Farrakhan was talking about,
it's going to fail. It's going to always be because man's incomplete.
But I would take, but I understand what the twin saying, and I understand what you're saying.
I'm never going to put my faith that much in somebody to do something. Hell no. Why? Because they broke like I'm broke.
But if they control the plan, if they're broken, they control the plan.
I control whatever. My God controls that. Whatever I need, He's going to give it to me. I don't.
No, but that's real.
Listen, Pharaoh kids are still out here dusty and broke.
And let them.
Am I wrong?
Because
niggas are still out here dusty and broke. We're Pharaoh's kids.
Ronnie,
listen, ain't we Pharaoh's kids?
Because who owns the cow in 1,000 hills? Who really owns what?
We know who
really owns what.
Yeah, we know.
That dirt that's under their feet, nigga. Who owns that? Who made that shit?
You see what I'm saying?
You keep talking about Pharaoh. Nigga, that dirt. God made that dirt. Just like he made people.
But he did, but who controls the dirt?
And guess what? When those people go and they leave, they fast.
Who controls the dirt? Who's telling niggas not to come here? Who's shipping niggas out? Who's shipping niggas out?
And guess what? All them niggas shipping niggas out, they gonna have to meet their maker.
Okay, I'm praising God. I'm waiting.
No, you don't gotta pray. That's on God. That's on God. All them niggas you said shipping out doing wrong, they have to answer to my God.
But they do. They all have to
answer. You ain't gonna nigga. You ain't under that blood. You gone. You dust.
Yo, I don't wanna interrupt y'all, but y'all good?
Yeah.
No, we good.
I'm like hearing people like hollering like.
It's a black man conversation.
I understand. I don't want to interrupt, but I'm in the room. I can hear it.
No, my bad.
My bad.
What's going on?
The show is over.
We just still shopping. Still.
No, but nobody he make a good point.
No. Listen. Listen.
At the end of the day,
I never said his point was wrong.
Me either. I never say.
I agree with a lot of things he said.
If you go to that book, with me and you go to that book,
we know who's in control. I already know who's in control.
Not only that, but we can look at the accounts of the people that were under bondage for 400 years, living under Babylonian control, living under system. Moses. My point is at the end of the day, all I need is my God. I don't need wealth. I don't need to be put in a position of power because that tempers. The eternal God, that's who I need. Because he's going to place me where he needs to place me.
Facts.
I can't do nothing about a land that pretty much is under rule by the principality. How are you going to fight? How are you going to fight against the principality?
You can't fight.
What's up with what?
I say you can't fight them. But the thing about it is...
And to my point, and I'm just leaving it like that, is you naming all these things, that's right. That's things that exist. That stuff I can't...
Yeah, you can't control.
I have no control.
You can't control. You're going to control yourself.
But you want to know what? The God that I know that's in the Bible, what did he do for Joseph? And the Jews, they were under the exact same type of rule we're talking about.
Yeah,
now.
oppression.
He managed to shift Joseph into a position where Joseph was able to help not just the Jews, but people that were in need of help.
But that was what you're saying. But if we have more black owners, we able to help more people. But I get what you're saying.
My point is,
God is the one that put you into that
God
position.
helped shift them into that position.
Correct, I agree.
And it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with him being Jews. It has everything to do with the fact that
God was in control.
Spoke to a man just like he spoke to Moses. When these people were, at the end of the day, that's my answer. You could name me all the problems. I could sit there and name. I could pull up Google and I could name some with. The only answer I know at the end of the day
is God's the only one. God,
because we can name them.
Facts.
Because that's reality in front of us. But you want to know what? The same problems you naming is the same problems that Jesus raised up a standard and said, "Get that out of the way." Jesus raised up a standard. He said, "Okay, move that." And then what happened to the Pharaoh? They had nothing to say. They had nothing to do. You want to know why? Because they realized there was a power that was beyond them, that was moving and that was working, that they could do nothing against, that they couldn't stop or suppress.
Yeah.
Facts.
They couldn't do nothing.
Facts.
But Pharaoh's working out.
They seen God's hand moving and they said, "Oh, shit."
But Pharaoh's working now.
But then God, at the end of the day, God's hand moving.
Pharaoh's working now, though.
So is God.
Pharaoh's
But who has the more final authority?
So that's fine. That's fine. Keep your eyes on Pharaoh. I need you to keep.
No.
What you trying to say?
Pharaoh's working now. That's fine.
I said Pharaoh's working now. Listen.
I'm not.
The thing that I'm trying to say is that's one aspect to look at it from a God point of view. You know what I mean? But the point of view when we talk about economics.
Yeah, then
we're talking about economics. We're asking Pharaoh, allow us to let us do it for ourselves. Let your children go and do their own thing. You feel me?
That's it.
Pharaoh's not going to do that.
Boy, saying he can't do his own thing if Pharaoh's in control.
That's it. Well,
thank you.
That's what he's trying to say.
That's why you have to go to the Father to.
Amen. That's why I said amen. Amen.
Every Sunday.
Because you're looking at Pharaoh as God on earth. Who is he?
Man.
He will be put down. Ronnie, every pharaoh that was enthroned was put down.
We waiting to put our pharaoh out now.
Don't play with me. Every pharaoh that was raised up was put down.
But the whole point is this. The whole point is this: we need to listen. The whole point is this: for us to practice group economics, we got to stick together, my nigga.
100%.
We gotta come together. Like the Chinese, the Jews, the Ukrainians, the Italians. We gotta come together. That's it.
Yeah, and
that's it. We gotta be on one accord. Let's build up group economics. Let's build building. This is what I'm trying to say. Let's go build something.
You go find the people to do it. Exactly.
I agree. But we are doing. We trying to build something.
Let's go build it.
At the end of the day, all I'm trying to do is.
We all trying to build. We were doing the economic stuff right here.
All I'm trying to say is
exactly
it starts right here.
Y'all trying to build an empire.
We trying to build an empire. It's culture, and this is the thing we got to preach to preach to.
But I know.
We know God today is the governor and the ruler of everything. We know that.
What I've been saying.
But I know at the end of the day, there's principalities.
But God's in control of them. They can't do nothing, man.
My point is, you're gonna penetrate those principalities through him.
Facts. That's what I'm saying. God's the ruler, the controller, and the ruler.
Who else? Imagine if Moses ran up there without the authority of God.
Oh, he would have been killed.
Come on.
He would have been killed instantly.
Let's talk. He would not have even made it in front of Pharaoh's step.
No. He probably would because it's Moses, but it would have killed him.
Like you said, he would have been dead.
It would have killed him.
Imagine if he went under his own accord and said, I'm going to take them down.
He would have been. They would have lied. They would have killed him immediately.
Think about that. Imagine if David ran up on Goliath because he said he wanted to, and not because the power of God was on him.
Facts.
Imagine that.
Facts.
Imagine that. So every single kingdom that was brought down that we know of.
What's the next topic?
Every single kingdom that was brought down that we know of was brought down because guess what?
Yeah.
God said
but people are gonna suffer in the mix before that happens.
That's just what it is. That's been the world.
A lot of people gonna die. Niggas is gonna die.
That's been.
You would.
Guess what? We're only. Guess what? That's been the world since Adam and Eve left the garden. People been dying and coming. That's nothing new. It's been like that for the past 6,000 years.
No, man, I'm speaking number facts, man. And this radio, culture radio, man.
Listen, on both sides, we're right.
No, I'm saying y'all both right.
On both sides, listen, I would never what they saying is fact.
Yeah, I would never. Hell no. Yeah. What they saying is pretty real, but that's culture radio, man. We pick it out, man.
Man, I just appreciate y'all just listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.